Hello, everyone. It's Kinch again, coming at you from Barwick. My very favorite time of the month. That's right, the beginning of the month, Clan War League. I always get so excited. It's like Christmas. I get to unwrap all these gifts, explore all these other clans we're facing. I dig deep into all the information that I can find. And I think you guys know after the last Clan War League, which we did win for the first time, but I made predictions on that, and the predictions were really, really, really close. And I think as a result of that, I've painted myself into a corner. I want to do that again, and I'm going to, but I'll save that for the end of the video. So stay tuned. We're going to take a deep dive into all these guys, and I'm going to tell you where I think we'll finish. I'm going to tell you where I think all these teams will finish. So stay tuned for that. Let's talk really quickly about the rosters and the daily rosters and the fact that I can change members, right? Like I can come in here and I can swap people in and out. Um, we do plan on swapping some people in and out. That is always the plan because I want as many people to participate as possible. Um, because that's more fun, right? You guys didn't sign up for Clan War League to not attack, right? Um, but know that I dig pretty deep into this stuff. I keep a little notebook and I've got a good gauge on what kind of bases we're up against each day. And so I'm going to assemble a team that will help us win, at least as best I can. Um, I would love to tell you that everyone will get a chance to war. I don't know that that's always practical, especially with a couple things in mind. One, we will do whatever it takes to avoid being demoted. For this particular Clan War League, I don't know that that's even a realistic possibility. As long as we show up and do our attacks, I think we'll be fine on that front. Secondly, I'm going to do what we can to make sure we can get promoted. And so it could be that in the effort of getting promoted, we may not be able to include everyone, especially our lower bases. So in a regular war, sometimes it's advantageous to bring some lower bases because then the opposition will also be lower. But remember, in Clan War League, that's not the case. All right, like we could be facing clans. I mean, hypothetically, we could be facing a clan that has only Town Hall 17s. We're not this time, but as we push higher in the rankings, we will. So just know that. So it's not always possible for me to bring lower guys. Day one here, that you guys are getting an advanced preview on the day one roster. This is the finalized roster for day one. I was able to include a lot of our lower bases. This clan that we face has some really good bases up top, but then their lower half is really weak. So I don't think we'll have a problem, taking this clan. So know that that's kind of how we'll determine with the substitutions and stuff. We will prioritize not getting demoted. That's not going to be a problem. Our next priority is to get promoted, right? And well, stay tuned for the previews for my predictions, but I think we have a really legitimate chance at that. So with that being said, let's talk about how you decide who to attack, and it's much simpler in Clan War League than it is in the regular war because we do kind of the industry standard, and that is you're going to plan to attack your mirror. Do that after you check the pinned comments and see if there's any special instructions in there. Then just plan on attacking your mirror. If that is unreasonable for any reason, or you don't think it's a good idea, speak up and offer to trade with someone. If you guys agree to a swap, please do it in chat so everyone knows what's going on. Don't just do it willy-nilly. I think we worked that out a couple times during the last Clan War League. I remember like Austin and maybe Lizard talking someone through doing that and all that jazz. So just know if you guys need help, speak up. But for the most part, we just attack our mirror. There is a short. I made a video short, and I will put the thumbnail up here now with my magic video editing skills, and you can check that out. I will put a link in the description, and you can look at that, and it briefly kind of tells you, it gives you the guidelines for attacking in Clan War League. Okay, but enough of that. You guys didn't tune in to hear that stuff. You guys tuned in to hear my predictions and where I think we'll finish, or at least that's what I believe you guys are tuning in for. And so here's at it. I'm going to go through that, but I will say one small caveat. With last Clan War League, I was really confident in my predictions. These are a lot more difficult to decipher for a variety of reasons. One, several of them don't have public war logs, and that always makes it a little more difficult. Secondly, it's a lot more difficult on these clans to determine how active each of the clans are. So while some of them are really active, they're participating in very small wars, some of them even with really big rosters, which leads me to believe that there's a few people that are active there, but not a lot of people active. So I'm pretty confident in my predictions. I'm not as confident as I was last time, but regardless, I'm going to make them because that is the good and irresponsible thing to do. So, just like last time, these are my irresponsible predictions for our Clan War League. I'm going to start at 8 and I'm going to work my way up. So, at number 8, finishing number 8, I predict Tim Hori. I assuming that's how they say that name. So a clan from Indonesia. I don't think these guys are bad. I think they're actually pretty good attackers. And pound for pound, they're really solid. But they just don't have the tools. They have probably the lowest base, and they only have 15 accounts. So if any of these guys decides to jump ship, or if they're not that active, then they're not going to score much. So I don't know that these guys are good. The wars that they participate in are really small as well. So, Tim, sorry, I think you're going to be finishing 8th. Finishing 7th, and a close 7th at that. I think this will be close, is what I'm calling this international clan. Um, Again, they they they're not terrible. They're I looked at their war log and they're really quite solid. But again, they just don't have the tools. They have a lot of low bases. I do think they may be slightly less active than the Tim clan. Although I don't know. I mean, you have their clan leader who is a Town Hall 16, but he's only got 1,700 trophies. But that could be like he just shows up for wars. I don't know. But I think we'll see. They are my pick to finish 7th, but I do think it'll be close between them and that other clan. Coming in at number 6, just out of the demotion zone, although I do think it's really close. I think this clan has a chance to be demoted, but I think they'll finish 6th, and that is Concurrence. This is a clan out of France. I don't know that they're great attackers, but more importantly, I'm suspicious that the majority of their clan is not very active. They have a really big roster, but they only participate in small wars. So, I mean, time will tell and we'll see how active they are, but I just don't know that they're even that active. So they are my pick to finish 6th. Coming in at number 5 is a clan from the US, or at least based in the US. But don't worry, it is not Barwick. It is this Fort Black. This will be our first opponent. They are based in the United States. It's a little bit more difficult for me to get a good bearing on them because they don't have a public war record or war log. Um, and I firmly believe that the top half of their roster is quite good. Like they have several Town Hall 17s, and based on what I can tell, I think they are quite good attackers. The problem is that the bottom half of their roster is really weak bases. And so I think it'll be similar to one of those top clans that we faced in the last Clan War League, where all of their attacks were 3 stars, but they only had like 5 attacks. Now, these guys may have more than 5 attacks per battle day, but I think the result will be the same. The attacks are going to be coming from like these Town Hall 9s, 10s, and even some 8s, maybe even some 7s, I don't know. So I don't know that those attacks will yield many stars. So they're my pick to finish right in the middle of the pack. Um, and I think they can pull that off, but it is a little dicey. I do think they're coming into this Clan War League with what I would argue is like half the attacks of everyone else. So we'll see how they fare. All right, so let's look at the top 4. Now I'm going to tell you the top 4 is a little bit up for grabs. I'm going to be honest about that. I would argue that any one of the ones that I'm naming in the top 4 could potentially finish number 1. They could potentially finish number 4 or anywhere in between. But I'm pretty confident that I've got a good a good read on kind of where some of these guys will shake out. Ironically, one of the ones that I think has the better chance to finish first is the one that I'm picking to finish fourth, and that is this Big Bang 1. Big Bang 1 appears to be pretty solid on several fronts. I am very suspicious about their activity level. And I say that because, again, they have a decently sized roster, and pretty good bases, but they participate in small wars, and that always makes me suspicious that while the roster may be big, it's just a few guys really leading the activity. Now, if they are active, I do think that they can do pretty well. So we will see that these guys will come down to their activity level. Now, I will say on the bottom part of their bases, they are a little bit lighter than the other ones that I have contending for the top. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Coming in at what I believe will be a closely contested top three, but coming in at 3 is this Iranian clan. Now, this Iranian clan is one of the tougher ones for me to decipher because a lot of things don't make sense about what I see in their clan. One, I don't know that they're very active at all. In fact, if you look at their war log, their most recent war is almost 2 years ago, or at least a year and a half ago. I don't know. I'm not great at math, so closer to 2 years ago than one. And their war log isn't exactly fabulous, but they haven't warred in like a year and a half, 2 years. So I don't know what to make of that. But the irony of that is they do not miss a clan war league. Right? They are every month they participate in clan war league, and they finished kind of in the middle of the pack. So I'm suspicious that maybe they only do that, and so maybe they'll be pretty decent. I don't know. I don't know what to make of these guys. Also, not a single troop has been donated in this clan. I mean, I don't know that we could do that if we tried. Not a single troop. So I don't know what to make of these guys, to be quite honest. Their roster is pretty solid in terms of their town hall size, and so I'm picking them to finish third. And to be quite honest, if they show up and they attack, they probably have as good a chance at winning it as anyone. Well, almost anyone. So that leaves 2 spots. And my pick for number 2, not going to win it, but they're going to finish number 2, and that is Tarsus 33. Now, these guys are almost as much of a conundrum as the Iranian clan. I cannot see their war log. So I'm not entirely sure what to make of them. I am suspicious that they are not very active. They've got a lot of bases that aren't even in a league yet, and their roster is kind of big. But with all of that in mind, based on how many wins they have and that they don't have any active war win streak, it just makes me suspicious. Now, to be fair, going into our last Clan War League, we did not have any war streak either. So it could just be a one-off. We don't know. So it's, they're a clan. Their clan level is 17, but their capital hall is 7. That just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. So, but it could be that these guys don't care about their capital hall. So, I really don't know what to make of them, other than their bases are pretty good, and I believe that they will finish second. Now, they could really prove me wrong, and they could be largely inactive, as is very, very, very possible. But they are my current pick to finish second. That leaves one clan to rule them all, and maybe I'm biased, and maybe it's because I know you guys and I love you guys so much, and you guys prove it to me every war, right? Like, you guys bring the high heat. I'm picking Barwick to finish first. I really believe that this Clan War League will be much tougher than our previous one, but I believe that we will win this Clan War League, and I've got faith in us to do that. So that's round 2 of my irresponsible predictions. that may be a good idea to make these predictions. It may not be, but for me, it's a little bit fun, and I hope it's fun for you guys too. Uh, get a good night's sleep tonight because battle starts tomorrow. We got a long week ahead of us, and I think we got a Clan War League to win. So I can't wait to go through this Clan War League with you guys. See you guys out there. Let's get some 3 stars.